Okay, so we're back again, and you see I have a new set of words that I put on the screen, and I have them in front of me here by the cameras: mother, river, love, ashamed, hard, heart, and touch. And I'm going to use those. I'm going to start out the same way. Don't worry what the poem is going to say or how it's going to make itself. It will make itself. You might think of poems as waking dreams a little bit, okay? Now dreams form themselves when you're asleep, and you don't have any control over your life whatsoever. That's because that in fact the dreams will form themselves. There is something within us that is always telling stories, and when we're awake, that same genius within us, it tells all of our common everyday stories. But it also, on occasion, when you allow it to, and you step back, it will come out with a poem, which is a very special kind of story. You'll know it when you make one. You'll feel a moment of excitement, and you'll feel a moment of slight ecstasy. It's a wonderful feeling. It's the feeling of beauty and the feeling of truth, because you've expressed a very deep truth about yourself through the form of a story. Okay? So let's look at those words, and I'm going to start out again. Sometimes in my dreams, and you can throw those out after a while. It doesn't make any difference, but it's to get us going and to let our minds work very freely without wondering about what we're doing or how we're doing it. If we start to go in some strange direction, we don't worry about it, because in our dreams we can go in any direction we want. We can walk on the ceiling, we can look like a frog. It doesn't make any difference. What we want to do is let our imaginations go free. And that's why we start out that way, okay? So when you're writing the poem, you can always just strike that out when you're going to publish your poem, or show it to a friend if you want to. It doesn't make any difference, okay? The poem will stand on its own. It's like a booster, that will get you in the right frame of mind, okay? Sometimes in my dreams, I'm holding my heart in my hand. It's hard to touch it. It feels cold sometimes, and sometimes very hard. I'm ashamed I'm like this, but it happens every so often. My mother is across the river. She's waiting for me. She waited all her life, and I never crossed it except on occasion. Love brought me there when it had to, and it made me whole. And for that I'm thankful. I'd cross it again if I could, but I can't. Time has separated us, but I see her still, across the river, holding her arms out to me, asking me, love me. I do. I do. So there you have your second example of a poem. I'm going to go into a third very quickly. I'm going to go to one. I'm going to use the words sun, field, love, jealous eye, secret tree. Just kind of throw those together. I don't care what the words are, as you'll see a little later on when I explain how that's done. And I'll give you a long list of words. The major trick is that you just want to let your mind go free, and something within you will use those words to pull itself out. You can't really consciously make a poem, and the thing I'm doing here is something called you're beckoning the muse, or you try to entice the muse to come up, or you entice the poem in you to come up. The words are like bait, if you want, and they hope to get the poem going. After a while, you'll feel it yourself as you're writing it. When you start out, the words it'll feel like you're just making a story, but somewhere along the line they'll start to get supercharged. You'll feel that there's something rising up inside you that knows exactly where it wants to go, and that is the poem itself. So let me start out with this one. Sometimes in my dreams I'm standing in a field. The field has a tree in it. I'm standing on one side, and my son is standing on the other. It's as though we have a secret between us that we can't share except through the tree. Sometimes we're jealous of each other. He can see it in my eyes, and I can see it in his. There should be love between us, not jealousy. And there should be no tree. We should be the tree. We two. Just us. So there's a poem to my son, He's a writer now, and he's well on into his late 40s. I'm in my 70s. Let me say that terms of our major feelings that we have, the feelings that will govern our lives are always between ourselves and our mothers and fathers, our wives, our sons, our daughters. They never go away, no matter how old you are. They're always there, and they always want to be expressed. Sometimes, that if you're a spiritual person, there are other entities that come into your love life, if you want to think of it, okay? Sometimes they're animals, like your dog or your cat that you love very deeply. And sometimes it's a kind of spiritual presence that you sense, that is you can't see, like your son or your daughter or your wife or your mother or your father. It's just something that you sense. And those presences are sometimes called angels. So I put up some other words on the board here on your little board in front of you. It's angel, field, hate, danger, eyes, night, and attract. Just again, those little, it's like a string of words that is going to attract the poem out of me, hopefully. And I also, in fact, I believe in your spiritual presences, not in a religious way. I just believe that they're just something larger than ourselves, than in terms of our physical being. And they sometimes, you come to you in the form of intuitions, you suddenly get an idea, or you have a sudden insight, or a feeling that is an indicator you should go one way or the other, that'll happen. So you could call those angels, they're outside you. You don't know where they came from. It's not you who's doing it. Just like your dreams aren't you in a sense, they're coming from outside your conscious mind. They are you, the total you. And in fact, you could say that the spiritual presences, like intuitions and those kind of things, are also you, but they're not your conscious you. They come into consciousness for some reasons that we don't know. They just come in. So let's do one on that, and we're going to use again those words: angel, field, hate, danger, eyes, night, and attract. And again, I'm going to start out the same way because it allows the mind to operate freely. In terms of the unconscious mind, that is going to come out with our poem. Okay. Sometimes in my dreams, I feel like I'm in danger. I don't know why. It's nighttime. It's dark. But I can feel there's some eyes on me. Eyes that are attracted to me. And I am attracted to them. I don't know what to do about those eyes. Some people hate them, but I don't. I can't see them. They're like the eyes of an angel or something that just come to me when I'm standing alone or in a field, or maybe just sitting by myself in a park. Something like a little piece of light that enters me, fills me with everything I need for just one moment. I hope you can feel the point where the poem starts to take off, where it just starts to come to me, and it's always in the beginning, it's a little slow, but I'm going to do one more for my daughter. The words daughter, river, admire, compelled, heart lost together. Let's do it very quickly so we fit it into this 10-minute segment. Sometimes in my dreams, I'm lost. I'm thinking of my daughter. We were together for a long time. She was a baby and then a small child, and then she grew up and she went away. Some river carried her away. It was the river of her fate, just as it carried me away from my parents long, long ago. I feel compelled to tell you this because I admire my daughter in so many ways, but my heart sometimes gets heavy. I'm lost sometimes. I'd like to go back when we were together, when everything was new and fresh, and every tomorrow happened today, right in front of us. No sorrow, just love, laughter, being together. So that was a nice little poem. Came out, sometimes you catch fire, sometimes it's near fire, but you have an idea as to what's going on. I think that's enough for this segment. I'm going to go on to the next segment.